Gaming. I have a weird Odd Eyes deck profile for you. It's Odd Eyes Sky Strikers with a little bit of a Guard Dragon engine in there since I got the LP. But let's get in there. Let's show you the build. Starting with the Odd Eyes cards. We have 3 Arc Pendulum. Any Odd Eyes deck, you gotta run 3 of this. It summons all your pieces that you need. It also summons anything that you summon properly back from the grave. We got 2 Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. I like the double art, so it's look like it's standing back to back. It's there for dual purpose. It's triple purpose. Double damage, search, and it's level 7 Odd Eyes. Odd Eyes Persona. I don't have ultras for these yet, unfortunately. I'm hoping to get those as soon as possible, but it's extra deck negation and a 1 scale. 1 Odd Eyes Phantasma Dragon. This is very good for the deck. You want to run it at 1 at most, because you don't want to draw into it constantly. But it being a 0 scale, that also adds back a dragon from the extra deck, or just beats over other stuff. It's just really good. 1 Performer Palette Odd Eyes Dissolver. I try to go into Vortex with this 90% of the time, but that's usually the main purpose of this card. 1 Odd Eyes Mirage Dragon. This is just there for an additional 8 scale, as well as a well, it protects an Odd Eyes. And then 1 Odd Eyes Phantom Dragon. It's an attack boost that also does burn when it's pendulum summoned. I'm going to go on to some of the engines of the deck. So first one I like to run is the Mythical Beasts. It's Electromite Turbo cards. Makes sense to run these at the full package. It's
Hey Siri, bring me something new.
2 Jackal, 3 Cerberus, no point otherwise. Running the Chronograph Time Gazer engine as well. This has a few different purposes. It's Electromite Turbo, protects the scales, specials itself and another monster. So sometimes I'll have to go into some weird combos with that. Also using the Darkroom package. So I have a few different spell cards that I'll dump the Darkroom with, or I'll pitch it in order to use its effect. And 1 Gate 0. For the last pendulum monster in the deck, I have the Morphage Goliath. That's usually the LP target. Terribly sorry about that. Now I have only 2 tuners in the deck. 1 Destrudo and 1 Glow Up. I usually don't ever need to sync though. We're going to go on to the hand traps. So I've got triple Ash, triple Ogre, triple Phantasmic. Choices for those are pretty obvious. And then starting off with the spells, we're going to start with the Strikers engine. We got triple Engage, we got triple Anchor, 1 Drone, 1 Shark Cannon. Something I didn't realize is that you can actually chain drones to Goliath, or not Goliath, to Dark Worm's activation Engrave. So you can get Zephyr Metaltron if you're not running LP. I'm actually toying with the idea of changing out LP and Goliath for Metaltron and Monster Reborn, or a second copy of Shark Cannon.
I got a full ride.
Now on to the rest of the spells. Triple Allure Darkness. Most of the monsters in the deck are dark, so that's nice to have. Also, I don't like running Desires in a deck that would benefit from having all the spells, as many as possible, in the grave. Speaking of spells, here's more. Odd Eyes Rhoda card. So this searches or pops. Gotta have it if you're running Odd Eyes. One Duelist Alliance. I don't exactly like hard once cards at more than one. That being said, this is at 1 for one reason. I run 3 dumps for the Dark Worms and Desperudo. So I like to have this. Dump Desperudo by pitching Dark Worm. Dragon Shrine, dump 2, works great. Foolish, dump literally Dark Worm, Desperudo, or Glow Up Bulb, and we're good. Now, I have Sky Iris, Summoner's Art. This is an alternative way to search out Odd Eyes Archpendulum Dragon. It's at 1 in the deck only because it's not very heavily relied on. I run 1 Iris because it's a hard once, and I rarely ever need it otherwise. And I run 1 Terraforming for the spell count. Now for the last 3 cards in the main deck, triple Impermanence. So much better than Effect Veiler.
You know my daughter's lying.
On the extra deck we have, starting with Link monsters. So Link 1s, we have 1 Shizuku, 1 Kagari, and 1 LP. I'm summoning usually Kagari first, off of the token. Then I'll go into Shizuku if I really need to. Rarely will I ever need to. But LP is there
No, really, but how much is this stuff?
for when I want to summon the Goliath.
I got wood.
Now for the Link 2s, I'm also running 3 Link 2s. 1 Electromite, mandatory for a Pendulum deck. 1 Beat Cop, it's a generic Link 2. And this is a funny one. Against things like Salamangreat or another Pendulum deck, I'll summon whatever monster they have in the grave that's fire that I want to make use of. Now, the fun thing about this, if my opponent has already summoned Electromite, I'll make this after using my Electromite, summon theirs, use it again, and then go into something bigger. I'm only running 1. Terribly sorry. Again, this tripod does not seem to like sitting still. 1 Link 3. Triple Burst. It does piercing and it's a negate. And then 4 Link 4s. 2, both of the Borals. 1 Seruja. And this one's a funny one. Ambler Whale. With the amount of things that I'm running that this can summon, it's pretty decent. Not only that, but it's fire.
The most common side effects include injection site reactions. What should we do tomorrow? Ask your doctor about Emgality.
Now I also am running only 1 Xyz. This one's kind of obvious. It's to summon out an Odd Eyes from the extra. Now, the funny thing is, I don't want to summon Vortex or Meteor Burst with this effect if I can help it. Usually I will try to summon the Odd Eyes Dissolver from the deck. Or not from the deck. I'll usually put it there with Electromite, then summon it off of this guy's effect, and then fuse for Vortex. Meteor Burst is Meteor Burst. It does what it does because it does. But it's fun, and it's fire. Ignis to Prominence, this is there for those moments when I absolutely need to get a synchro out that it can get around things. Not only that, but when it pops an Odd Eyes while I got Arc Pendulum, I get to special a monster while I'm removing opponent's cards. And then the mandatory Vortex Dragon. Bounce, and then negate. Funny story, when Wind Witches were starting to be used, this actually had some funny implications against the Invincible Crystal Wing. So, at the time I was running Odd Eyes Fusion. So, opponent has Crystal Wing, and another monster for whatever reason. They don't stop the Odd Eyes Fusion. This comes out, I bring it out in defense, I go bounce, they go negate, I go negate. It doesn't destroy it, sure. It still bounces it. And that would be it. This deck, actually, this profile has landed me second place at Card Addiction Locals here in California. So, it's a pretty decent build, and that was just the first tourney I brought it to. So next time around, I'm going to try it at another local event and see how it goes. And if it does well enough, I'm going to bring it to a regionals as well and see how that happens. Peace out. Have a good night, day, whatever.